Hello SmartLeapers! Welcome to a new video where we'll do our best to provide you with practical insights that will help you on your path to success and enable you to unlock the life of luxury. The 20s are a crucial phase where we draw blueprints on which we'll base our coming years and decide on the type of future life we'll be leading. Of course, some people change courses later on in their lives, but the impact of the decisions that we make in our 20s remains great. Unfortunately, not all of us are lucky enough to be on the receiving end of an inheritance or a winning Powerball ticket. Like any other goals we might be seeking, acquiring wealth needs to be a gradual process, and it's best if it begins early on in our lives. And considering the vigor that it takes to become a millionaire, the 20s are the perfect age to begin that journey. In this video, we will review 10 tips that can help you become a millionaire before you turn 30. Are you ready? Number 1. Have a clear vision of what you want. This is the first piece of advice in our video because without clarity, the rest becomes pointless. You need to be absolutely sure of the destination that you want to arrive at before embarking on your journey to becoming a millionaire. Becoming rich in itself isn't enough of a vision. You should treat your financial goals like Warren Buffett always stresses that he personally does, namely as a means for scorekeeping. The money you make, along with other factors, should be an indicator of whether or not you're on the right track. However, money should not be your sole purpose because what's more important is that you strive towards the life that you truly want to live. You can make money from countless paths, but what's most important is that you choose a path that will lead to a concrete vision, like becoming a renowned writer or an innovative entrepreneur in a particular industry. The money will come naturally when you make the right moves. This brings us to our next point. Number 2. Choose a path that you know you'll enjoy. Trying to make it to 7 digits in your 20s is no picnic. If it was, everyone would be millionaires in their 20s. What you're aiming at is no easy target, and you have to know this from the beginning. But you need to have the confidence that it's doable because others who are no smarter or more special than you were able to do it. You just need to accept that this is a road full of hitches and frustrations. To endure this journey, you need to be in it for more than just the financial results. Because as important as these are, they're usually not enough of a motive to keep you ignited. And in case you face some delay in that area, there has to be some other incentive that will sustain your energy and passion in the face of hardships that any entrepreneur is likely to face. That's why you need to choose a path that you'll be willing to walk even when the money isn't coming yet. Number 3. Diversify your earnings. There's almost a consensus on this particular point among entrepreneurs of every type and background. It might seem as financial jargon to some, but when you break it down, it basically means that you should create as many streams of income as possible, so long as you feel you can sustain them. Don't burn yourself out, but your focus should not be poured into a single job where you wait for your monthly salary. You should be out there fishing for new sources of income and find ways to fit them into whatever gap you have in your schedule. Think of it this way, if you dug a lake and you want to fill it up, is it efficient to have just one stream pouring into it? Wouldn't it be better to have water sources from multiple streams? Number 4. Have a financial plan. Like we said, becoming a millionaire is the result of years of accumulation of earnings from different sources. And to make sure that this income eventually adds up to the 7-digit figure that you dream of, you need to keep track of it and know where every penny of it comes from and where it's spent. You can't expect to become a millionaire by randomly earning and spending money. Another misconception that you need to lose is that savings are what remains from your income after you're done spending. It should be the opposite. You should decide what you'll save first and then decide what will be left over for spending. Have a budget set up with your main expenses such as rent, food, and gas. Then make a separate list of expenses such as nights out, purchases that you plan to make, and even investments that you're planning to make. We're not saying that you should keep counting every dollar you spend because this can turn into an obsession. If you make sure you always know how much you had, how much is left, and where you intend to spend it, then you should be alright. Becoming a millionaire is not an overnight thing. It's the accumulation of earnings from various sources across several years. If you're working at a morning job and you have video editing skills, then find yourself clients to work with during the evening, or use your photography experience and your connections from the morning job to find yourself photography gigs where you can earn some extra bucks to add to the pile. However you go about it, just always try to find ways to add money to your bank account, as long as they're both sustainable and legitimate. Number 5. You don't have to buy a home. A lot of people are determined, especially in their 20s, to make enough money to buy a house or an apartment. However, this isn't a small sum. And some even go as far as to evaluate their success based on if they were able to buy a home before they turned 30. Well, the problem with that way of thinking is that it's too premature. You shouldn't care about owning a house until you're 40. In your 20s, your money should always be put to better use, which means that you should focus on using your money to make more money. The importance of investment in various projects during your 20s cannot be emphasized enough. If you have enough in your 20s to invest, do it. It doesn't matter if you don't have a huge amount to invest. Get out there and start profiting from successful investments. The unsuccessful investments will be a learning process. Buying a house is a good decision when you're old enough to need a fixed residence or a guaranteed investment. But your 20s are the years of reckless hustling and bold risk-taking. Use them wisely and focus on securing circumstances that are good enough to keep you going and not too leisurely as to mellow you out, which, if you think about it, you can definitely have in a rented apartment. Number 6. Don't rush towards a life of luxury. Making money causes this rush, and being able to buy more and more stuff that we like is why most of us endure having to wake up every day to grind for hours. If you want to experience true luxury, you need to understand what that truly means. Because a cool wardrobe, a fancy car, and expensive vacations that end up draining 80% of your bankroll are not true luxuries. As long as you're trading off between investment and consumption, then it's only an illusion of luxury. If you're trading investment for consumption, then luxury is an illusion. True luxury is when you can buy yourself a private jet and still be able to invest money in a new superstar startup which can become the next Uber or Netflix, launch your own fashion line, or start a production house. You'll only get there if you get a grip on your urge to buy stuff in your 20s so that you can build up the wealth that will afford you luxury in your later phases. We're not saying you shouldn't pamper yourself every now and then as you make more money. It can even motivate you to go on as you see the change in your quality of life. Just don't overdo it to the degree that it affects your ability to grow. Number 7. Do what you know others are not willing to do. If you're striving for success at all costs, you may suddenly discover that you've been looking at your computer with 1,000 tabs open about 10 different things that you're taking care of in parallel, or realize that you've been editing a video for 6 hours straight and forgotten to eat. When these moments are happening regularly, this is a sign that you're probably on the right path, as long as you're giving your attention to the right endeavors. Most people in their 20s spend their time doing just enough work so that they can afford themselves some good nights on the weekends and a nice vacation every now and then. And during the week, they will find as many gaps between tasks so they can sneak some break time. That's good news for you, because if that's what most people are doing, you know that you'll be able to stay ahead of it if you're just willing to put in more time and effort than your superiors. Your real superior is the dream that you strive towards and not a manager or a supervisor. It's normal to find yourself finishing your day job, then heading home to handle emails with your freelance clients, then heading off to meet someone regarding your new budding startup. If you put in the constant time and effort, you'll immediately find yourself ahead of most people, because that's not what most people are willing to do. Number 8. Don't hold on to your savings. Of course you should have a safety net for an emergency or for a necessary big purchase, but other than that, savings should only be a station that your money passes through before turning into investments that generate more money. A lot of people are so happy with their savings that they start to get too protective of it and decide that they best stay where they can see them. And so they keep them stacked inside their bank accounts, where they tediously accumulate interest over the years. That's not the right strategy for someone in their 20s trying to make millions by the time they're 30, because you should be consistently investing whatever savings you have. Remember, you're racing against time and will need every resource you have working overtime for you. Keeping all your funds and savings with pithy returns is not what SmartLeapers like you should be doing. Number 9. Constantly develop yourself. So far, we have talked about how to pursue money, the sources that it comes from, and how you can use that money. What is more important than all of this is the person who brings in the money in the first place. That's you. Opportunities can come and go, but the constant factor in your entire journey, and the one that is capable of making the best out of the opportunity or completely blowing it away, is you. This is why you should focus most on yourself. The growth of your business depends on your personal growth. You may have noticed that the greatest businessmen and women seem to be avid readers. This is because they have a raging curiosity that never sleeps. They always want to know what's new, how they can do this, how to learn that, and what resources are needed so they can enter this or that business. The same businessmen and women always try to work on their soft skills and do not confine themselves to the technical aspects of their industries. Develop your public speaking skills, try to improve your writing, learn to use more tools that are relevant to your work, tap into new fields, read books and listen to lectures. Always keep your brain and your character in a state of constant development. Number 10. Pick your future millionaire friends. No matter how strong and determined you are, the type of people that are close to you directly affect your progress. That's because they're the ones you exchange information with and learn from, the ones you express yourself to, and the ones with arguably the greatest impact on your personality and whatever turns your life takes. Even if you happen to succeed despite being surrounded with ill-tempered, pessimistic folks who put you down rather than encourage you, ask yourself this crucial question. Are these people you can stay friends with when you're a millionaire one day? Where do you imagine they will be by the time you make it? Will they have created similar progress in their own lives? Or will they fall behind as you create progress in yours? You should try to make sure that you're friends with people that will push you to excel and break through your own limitations. In 10 years or so, each of you will have scored more or less great success in your lives. Alright, we're done for today. Now tell us, Smart Leapers, what else do you think can help someone begin their 30s as a millionaire? Answer in the comments, and you're always welcome to start a discussion about any of the topics we talk about in this channel, because discussions are what spark Smart Leaps. We'll be back with a new video soon. If you liked this one, don't forget to press the like button and share the video, as well as subscribe to the channel and activate the notifications button so that you'll always be updated whenever we post something new. There are countless more topics to come, and you don't want to miss them. Until then, have an amazing day, Smart Leapers.